Let's talk about the $1.3 trillion mistake most startups make. They don't fail because their ideas are not cool. They fail because they build things nobody actually needs. They guess the problem, they skip the pain, and they waste time solving something no one pays to fix. Up to 90% of startups fail. That's not just a number. It's a story of FlowTab, Treehouse Logic, Ars Digita, and all are gone. Not because the technology did not work, but because the problem wasn't real, urgent, or widespread. So today, I want to show you how to build what actually moves people. Real pain, real solutions. And 3 battle-tested tools to separate a dream from a dead end. There are 2 ways you help people move forward. Path 1 solves a clear, obvious pain that people have. Picture someone stuck in the rain, arms out, trying to weigh down a taxi. Uber shows up and says, tap a button and your ride comes to you. Path 2, invent something totally new or create a category. In 2006, phones had a tiny screen, awful keyboard, and chunky interface. Then Apple did something different. But here's the kicker. Even if you think you are creating a brand new category, you're still helping people make progress. You're solving an old frustration in a new way. You're removing the friction and unlocking something they couldn't do before. Here's what Steve Jobs actually said at Macworld in 2007 when introducing the iPhone. Today, we're introducing 3 revolutionary products: an iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. These 3 are not 3 separate devices. This is one device and we are calling it iPhone. Wow. So, no, Apple wasn't showing off a shiny gadget. They were solving a real everyday pain, carrying around 3 separate devices that barely work together. And that leads us to something founders talk about all the time: the vitamin versus the painkiller analogy. Here's the deal: vitamins don't sell. Even if your product is technically a vitamin, something helpful long term, you still have to lead with the pain it solves. Apple still does this today. They're not shouting, hey, look at our AI. Instead, they show a mom using AI to create a heartfelt photo album of her kids. It's not about the technology. It's about the emotion, the progress, the outcome for people. It's never about how slick your gizmo is. It's all about solving something people care about. Even the best product needs to start with the pain. Solve that and people move. Now, we are going to dive into first of our 3 tools. It's called the Jobs to be done, or JTBD for short. It's all about figuring out what people actually need, not what they say they want. McDonald's wanted to sell more milkshakes. So they asked their customers what they wanted. People said make it thicker, sweeter, chunkier. Then McDonald's did it. Nothing changed. Uh-oh. Then they did something smart. They started observing people as they bought the milkshakes. Turns out, commuters were buying milkshakes at 7 a.m. in the morning. Not for taste, not for fun. They wanted something to sip for 20 minutes while driving or stuck in the traffic. Something that didn't spill in their car. Something that felt like a small treat. McDonald's redesigned their shake. And the result? Their sales went up 7x. Now, your job is to figure out what your product is really being hired to do. Now, let's jump into the second tool, lean validation. This one is about getting real-world proof before you write a single line of code. Dropbox didn't start with code. They made a quick video. They showed what the product would do potentially. That video hit number 1 on Hacker News. 75,000 people joined their waitlist overnight. Only then did they build a prototype. Then they pre-sold subscriptions. That's how you validate. Ask, do people want this? Can we build it? And will they pay? 3 simple questions, 1 solid test. We are on to the third tool, root cause analysis. This one helps you avoid wasting time on symptoms by getting to the real source of the problem. Sometimes what looks like a bug is just a symptom. Use root cause analysis to get to the bottom of it. Toyota made this famous with the 5 whys technique. Here's a version of it. Why is there water on the floor? Well, the roof is leaking. Why is the roof leaking? Because the tree branch fell on it. Why did the branch fall? The tree was unstable. Why was the tree unstable? It hadn't been trimmed in years. Why not? No maintenance schedule. So the real issue? Not the leak, not the branch. It's a system that failed to maintain the tree. Now, think about how this applies to your customers. When users complain, you might hear some things like, this feature is confusing, or it's too slow. But don't just build a patch based on the surface complaint. Use root cause analysis to dig deeper. Ask why again and again and again. You might find what seems like a usability bug is really a motivation gap, or what looks like a pricing objection is actually about trust or unclear value. When you uncover the real cause, not just the loud symptom, that's when you can solve the right problem. That's when you remove the bias, guesswork, and wasted effort. Now, let's zoom out for a second. MIT's Eric von Hippel talks about 2 kinds of innovation. Free innovation, where individuals solve problems for themselves or their communities. No profit motive. It starts with the pain and not any concrete business plans. Producer innovation, where the companies solve problems they have identified through market research, data, market analysis, and so on. It's profit-driven and designed to scale. Both approaches matter. Free innovation brings the heart, and producer innovation brings structure. But if you want to build something that lasts, something that people adopt and will pay for, you need to blend both these innovation techniques. Start with a personal insight. Validate it with market proof. That's the winning combo. If you don't mix grassroots empathy with structured validation, your passion project will stall and never gets the attention your idea deserves. Accelerators like Y Combinator won't let you build until you have done one thing. Validate the problem. That's where the source framework comes in. It asks severity. Does this hurt enough? Urgency. Are the people actively seeking a fix? Replicability. Do lots of people have the same issue? If your problem isn't all 3, don't build, don't scale, don't hire. Go back and find the real pain. Because real pain is what drives progress and purchases. So here's the bottom line. People don't buy products, they buy progress. They don't care how cool your technology is. They care if it fixes what's frustrating them. If you want to build something that lasts, start with the pain. Use tools like jobs to be done, lean validation, and root cause analysis. Combine empathy with systems. And always ask, does this help someone move forward? Because when you solve the right problem, everything else starts working. If this hits home, don't just sit on it, subscribe. This channel is built for founders who want to solve real problems and not chasing today's trends. And if you're working on something and need help finding your real painkiller, let's talk. Book a call. I do strategy sprints with founders who are serious about building what actually moves people. You will find the links in the description below. Let's build something that lasts.